In today's episode, I talk about what you should be putting in your Instagram descriptions. Welcome to episode 99 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show, where I help creatives just like you to master your marketing. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Guys, I'm feeling good about the whole personal branding thing at the minute. I'm probably going to do some kind of recap when I hit a year in. I don't know when it is. I think I started this whole thing in October, probably. I can't remember. But we're nearly at 100 episodes, which I can't believe. It's been going super well. And, you know, Instagram has been taking off. YouTube, slow but starting to pick up some momentum. The podcast, month-on-month growth, and just generally like an incredible community forming. My Patreon group taking off. Like, I just freaking love it when everything heads in the right direction. When you get, you know, those stat dashboards and you get the red down arrow if it's down month to month, and the green up arrow, just seeing those nice green arrows every month and seeing the data and the engagement and the people and the wonderful comments just growing every month. It fills me with so much fucking fire. I love it more than anything on this earth. So thank you for being part of that.
This question is from Morel. I can only post occasionally to Instagram. Will you provide some tips on what to include in the caption of the post? In the past, I've just said, I'd like to share my latest drawing of... But I realized that I need something more. Thanks.
Hey, Morale. Awesome question. Different question. I always like mixing it up on this show, so I appreciate that. I got a good answer for you. So long form descriptions on Instagram, one of the most underused things. And I'm not talking about like some hashtag stuffed fluffy, keep that in Marco, bullshit kind of description. I'm talking about like a story, something that gives wider context to your painting or piece or whatever it is. They're super effective. And in terms of engagement, often there's more engagement actually relevant to the description than there is to the piece of content itself. So people read them. I promise you that. And I think a perfect example of this is my good friend Dustin, who I do the Honest Designers Show podcast with. He did a 100-day challenge. He did illustrations and he put them out every single day, 7 days a week for 100 days. Quite an undertaking. And they were super popular. And what he did was he had a very long form description where he practically filled the character limit each time. And he gave context to what were some beautifully done but fairly simple illustrations. And one that stood out to me was, I can't even remember what the illustration is, but I do remember the description, case in point. And it talked about how the object that he'd illustrated, I think, meant a lot to him because it reminded him of his dad who'd passed away not that long ago. And he had a really heartfelt kind of essay about his dad in that post description. And he just got such an outpouring of love and support in the comments. And people resonated so hard and they saw their own relationships with their parents in it. And it's a beautiful thing. And whilst not every post can be that deep and emotionally resonant, he did a similar approach with all of his 100 illustrations. He would tell a little story. It wouldn't just be, you know, an illustration of a snake. It would be like, I drew this because it reminds me of my brother's snake tattoo. I don't think he's even got a brother with a snake tattoo, by the way, but hypothetical example, it could be like, and it took me back to when, you know, we were 15 years old and we went like mountain biking through the canyon and he fell off and got really hurt and we had to go get help. Like that kind of shit, right? Your art comes from somewhere. It comes from a memory or an experience or an emotion you're looking to capture. That's what you put into the description. And it's just such a wonderful thing to do, to combine that art and storytelling. And like I say, people love that stuff. They gather around it. It's really, really just a good strategy on Instagram. And so what I do with my content is I'm trying to teach something and I kind of repeat what's in the slides and I adapt it slightly and I pad it out and it becomes almost like a mini article which supports the creative. But in your case, I think you said you're doing paintings. Like absolutely, I would tell the story of the inspiration behind the piece. Like, what is behind the piece? Because people don't just want to look at it and be like, oh, that's a nice piece of art. They actually want to read about it. It's the same reason when we go to museums and art galleries, you go up and you read the little plaque in front of it and you see the story behind why that piece was created, and it's fascinating. And it's why every single person generally will go and read that plaque as well as staring at that painting. So that is what I would do. Question of the day: are you utilizing long form descriptions on Instagram or not? Be honest and let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the YouTube show. If you are too, then be sure to hit the subscribe icon and tick the little bell to get notifications when I post new content on this platform.